Hey, welcome to Hindsight the Podcast. I'm your host, Lee Jones, and I'm thrilled to embark on this journey of exploration with you. We often find ourselves reflecting on the choices we've made and wondering how our lives might have unfolded differently if we had taken a different path. Here's the beauty of hindsight. It gives us a chance to gain wisdom and learn from our past decisions. Look, this podcast is a platform to dig deep into those pivotal moments and uncover the invaluable lessons hidden within. Look, I'm Lee Jones, your host, and I couldn't be more excited to have you on board. So let's dive right in and explore the fascinating realm of decisions on Hindsight the Podcast.
When you look back in hindsight, everything is 20/20. In hindsight, you make mistakes, we're learning from it. In hindsight, shaping yesterday and your tomorrow. In hindsight, it's so much clearer now. This is Hindsight the Podcast, and introducing your host, Lee Jones.
Hey, welcome to Hindsight the Podcast. I'm your host, Lee Jones, and today I have with me a true, I'm going to say the word domino, Nesrine Bengra, with a master's, and did I say that right? Because I didn't ask you all those other ones, Nesrine.
Yeah, it's correct. Nesrine or Nisrine, depends.
Nesrine
Nesrine,
Bengra.
Nesrine Bengra, it's more French. So Nesrine Bengra, it's more like English. Yes.
So with a master's in marketing from Atlanta University, Nesrine's career has been nothing short of, from my perspective, exceptional. From Abu Dhabi media to being the head of marketing and public relations at the club of His Highness Sheikh Falah bin Zayed Al Nahyan, right?
Correct.
Okay. Nesrine has orchestrated elite polo competition and organized charity events supporting orphans in the United Arab Emirates, or the UAE. She's also the mastermind behind the Pink Polo Pink Tour, which raises breast cancer awareness and offers free medical checks to busy women. Notably, Nesrine brought the Centabelle Polo Club, an African charity international event, to the Gantut Racing and Polo Club in collaboration with His Royal Highness Prince Harry and the UK Palace. You got a lot of highnesses in here. Her journey from engineering to marketing, makeup, fashion, blogging, and philanthropy is incredibly inspiring. Welcome, Nesrine. How are you doing today?
Hi, Lee. Good morning. Thank you so much for having me. So I'm Nesrine Bengra, and I'm very thrilled to be here today as your guest. And I'm so excited to share so many things and life stories that I lived, and other lessons and insights with you and the beautiful audience.
Oh, thank you so much. We're excited as well because, as you see, there were some tongue-tying moments there as I was reading through here, which means that I'm going to absolutely have a learning experience today, just living through your journey and your experiences. So I'm excited to have you as a guest on the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
She's like, thank you. Hey, so we're gonna jump back a little bit because we were talking before a few weeks ago, and you kind of brought up some of your experiences as a little girl. You've moved from a lot of different countries, and you've had a lot of opportunities to kind of restart or learn things. But can you reflect on your experiences or your experience as a little girl having to flee Algeria for the UAE to escape a civil war?
Yeah, maybe. I'm first. Actually, this story I'd love to talk about it in short, but I hope to be able to inspire a lot of people. I just want to highlight that I had a very happy childhood, and I want to also thank my parents because they going through this experience, they never kept speaking negatively about it, trying to protect us as kids and our mental health. Growing up in Algeria, we had a very stable life. It was a great life, our friends and relatives. And then the civil war began. And as a child, I understood that something was terribly wrong. But our parents were like, my parents were just trying to say that we might need to leave. maybe the sad part was when we were actually leaving, because we were one of the families that were like really families that were targeted due to my father's income, because he was working abroad since forever, and we needed to leave the country without saying a goodbye. So I would like to say maybe you'll be able to escape the danger of the war, but do you really escape the emotional and the mental scars that you get from that? Maybe it's hard, but again, I would say that my parents taught me not to let this as something that would define me, and never to feel that I am a victim, because they told us we were maybe one of the few families that were lucky to escape all of the the sadness or the tragedy that happened during that period of time. But they told me to never look back, to understand that this is something that's happened, but we learn to always look forward, and try to help anyone who needs help if it was within our capacity. So yeah, it's in
Wow.
short.
Well, that's good. It looks like and not to downplay the seriousness of what was going on in Algeria at the time, but it looks like your parents definitely had your well-being and your future mental self in their minds, in the way they approached it, and in the way they kind of sheltered you from all of the, what was going on. But beyond that, you said you had a happy life, and I guess you got out of there without too much incident. But how did those early experiences shape your determination and your resilience? And I'm jumping way forward now in your career today, because I did read a lot of things, and you're doing a lot of amazing things in your career right now. So that any of that or anything else in your earlier year kind of, prepared you for what you're doing now.
That's actually true, because as a child, I understood at a very early age that change was the only constant, and that you have to understand how to overcome things and any obstacle, because life is always full of a lot of challenges and disturbances. So I'm gonna just give a small example. For example, back when I was working in Rantut Racing and Polo Club, overnight, the top management decided to appoint ex-military guy
Mm-hmm.
to manage us, where we are a lifestyle and a sport polo club. It's totally two different experiences. So maybe in the after some time, the club actually turned kind of into a military camp. It felt it was very hard for us having a civilian background, and so many people couldn't deal with the pressure, and they actually left their jobs and they quit. But I think I was one of the few that this didn't really affect me, because I was able to understand that whatever happens, I need to learn how to be to understand it and to overcome it, and I wouldn't let it shake me, and continue to do what I love. So I was adaptable to the situation. I was also I spoke to my parents again, because I always give them actually credit, because they are one of the reasons that I am where I am today. And my mother was like, it's up to you. Do you want to continue? If not, you have to understand his point of view. Okay, he has a military background. You guys are civilians, but you have to wait things alone. So again, I would say it's not what happens, whether it's at your job or like in life or personal life. It's actually what's important. It's how you react to it. So it's up to you. It's your decision. Do you want to see it negative? Do you want to give up? Do you want to be a victim? Or do you want to be strong and try to look at the positive side? And yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Great lessons there. Sounds like you have some amazing parents. I look at my mom. She gives me a lot of inspiration as well. And it's things that you don't really pay attention to when you're a kid, right?
It's
Maybe
true.
you
It's true.
do. Huh?
But it's true. Sometimes,
Yeah,
even especially when we grow up, we start to understand everything that our parents used to tell us, and then we understand how it actually shapes us without us noticing.
exactly. Exactly. Because I remember it wasn't moving from country to country, but it was definitely moving from better situations. you were born in Algeria, right?
Yeah,
And then you moved to
to
UAE.
UAE. Correct.
And then you moved to Dubai.
Yeah.
Is that
So
correct?
yeah, so I was in Abu Dhabi, and then it's like Dubai is in UAE, but there is something that most of the people residents in UAE they understand. Dubai is it feels like a whole country
Yeah.
alone with its own system. So
Right.
like Abu Dhabi, it's because like every emirate has its own ruler or own sheikh who puts the rule, and there is a different culture and different rules for it. So
Wow.
it's yeah, so yeah. So actually, even like there is seven Emirates, right? So they united, but most of even people when we get tourists, we go like, yeah, I'm gonna take you to Abu Dhabi or I'm gonna take you to Sharjah, for example, and they say, yeah, but it's the same country, and we go like, no, it's different with the rules and the regulations and like even the buildings. So back to you.
So and then finally now you're in Germany.
Yes, correct.
Could you tell me about your approach? And I kind of teetered on this a little bit earlier to adapting to new cultures and environments. And what were some of the challenges you faced during these transitions, and how did you overcome them?
Oh yeah, I would say something that I felt lately when I moved to Germany as an adult. I discovered that maybe moving from Algeria to UAE young, one of my problems was identity crisis. But as a child, I didn't know how to really express that. I didn't know the word, and I didn't know what was going on with me. And even when I arrived first to Germany, I felt odd, but I felt like something was wrong, and I came to realize it was actually identity crisis. However, it's I would say it's because maybe okay, I every time I'm familiar with a place and a culture, I just leave to something. I leave everything behind and I leave to the new thing. But it really helped me to learn how to fit in. And I think this time when I moved to Germany, it's because I got married, and I chose that because maybe it's a skill that I know that I can do it. Like today, I chose to do that. Maybe in future, I would need to do that because sometimes you even see the refugees here in Germany. They really have a hard time to adjust and to understand the other culture or accept other cultures. So I think to learn how to fit in would help you not only in your personal life, but also professionally, I would say, because like to have the cultural sensitivity, if you want to excel in a role, like excel in a role that has like it requires working with the international teams or like any other roles that needs to have different nationalities. It would be easier for the person who is able to be open up. So it's good and hard, but it's also like I would say it's hard,
Mm-hmm.
but it helped me in so many ways.
I tell you what,
Yeah.
I'm super happy. I think I'd be fine, right? But when you go to these different, and now you're educating me, right? So when you go from these one country to the next,
Yes.
languages,
Oh.
like talk about that.
Hmm. Oh, okay. So at the moment, I speak five languages.
Mm, mm, mm.
Yes, I speak Arabic, English, French, a little bit of Spanish, and at the moment German as well. It's sometimes I get confused because I want to say a word and I say it in a different language, but I feel like every language has its own culture with it, and it's
Right.
very interesting to actually learn that. It's not easy, I would say, because Germany is one of the countries that wouldn't let you get a visa unless you have at least the A1 level as per the law. But so I did the A1 level. I was still in Dubai, and then I came here and I did my B1 level, and I did some other studies also in the German language.
Mm-hmm.
So it was hard. I cried. I wouldn't lie. I wouldn't say I'm not gonna be the person who says everything is very easy. I cried. I so many days I wanted to burn the books, but
Mm.
But when I got my certificates, I was extremely happy and I was very proud of myself. And every time
Absolutely.
I always like to do things that are very challenging, because it's like I try to push boundaries to see how far can I go. And I think if anyone would do that, you will be amazed by the things that you can actually achieve. So yeah, and just something else I would want to highlight. Changing countries or moving to a new environment is not always easy. Maybe sometimes people check people on the social media or Instagram where they think everyone is having a party. This is not true. There is a lot of hard times, and if you feel sad, it's okay to cry. Crying is actually gonna help you to release chemicals that's gonna give you the feeling good for your both physical and emotional pain. So yeah, back to you.
I remember going to, you say 5 languages. I remember going to Puerto Rico for
Oh yeah,
well,
honestly.
look, so here, it was nice. It was nice. But, but no, I remember going to Puerto Rico and we went to a shopping area. So it was me, my commander, and first, it was a bunch of us, right? We went to the shopping area. And when you go there, you have to go through, it's like paid parking, right?
Yeah.
So you drive into the parking area, you get a little ticket, and you go and shop, come out and pay whatever, right? So I came out and I could not find the ticket. Not, and none of us spoke
Oh,
Spanish, right? So, I mean, you can kind of act it out, but it was kind of funny because while we were there, this one guy was trying to talk to him and sound it out and play Pictionary or whatever, right? And he just stopped. He walked away and he went and got this young guy, right? It's like the one person who could speak a little bit of English in the place. So he spoke and communicated. And what's funny for me
yeah.
is that young guy, he came out, he communicated. I was able to get another ticket and able to leave. And he apologized to me
Oh.
for his English. And I said, "Why are you apologizing? Like we've done what we set out to do, communicate, And I said, you speak English excellent. But my lesson is, if you're going out and you're trying a new language, like you're not going to get it. It's if it's not your first language,
Yeah.
it's very rare that people can master multiple languages, and they do, right? But it's rare.
But it's an amazing point. I'm gonna add to it once
Yeah,
we're
go
done.
ahead.
Yeah, because I just want to highlight, a lot of people say that Germans get upset when you don't speak the language.
Mhm.
However, I want to continue the sentence, but they appreciate when you try to speak it and no one actually makes fun and no one gets annoyed. Because first, I used to be very kind of nervous when I speak like wrong German, but actually people appreciate it. Just like you said, like sometimes people say, I'm sorry, my English is not good or my German is not good. And communication is what's really important. So
Yeah.
Back to you.
I say I told him my Spanish was, was non-existent, right? I can say hello and that's about it, right? So, so that's a great lesson, right? And it's just, you go in because you don't want to make a mistake, right? You're so successful and good at the things that you're successful and good at. Yeah. And when you go and you try new things, right, it's difficult because, you're used to being successful or you're used to knowing everything you need to know. And this is just a lesson in general. So go out there and take some shots, get a little bit uncomfortable, right? Because in the end, you're going to have another skill set in your belt. So, all right, now we got to talk about something, it's a medical diagnosis, right, that you had. So, you were diagnosed with MS while you were in college. And let me ask you another question before I even get to that question.
Yeah.
Did you ever live in the U.S.?
No, but maybe someday, because me and my husband are like fascinated with the country. But go on.
And where did you because I want to make sure I got this right. Your master's in marketing.
Yeah, because Atlanta University actually they got the team and they created courses in Dubai. So and then our exams were like they took them and they correct them by a team also in US. So
Okay.
that's how, yeah.
All
My
right. Really?
certificate was actually signed by Hillary Clinton.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
So Hillary Clinton signed off. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I tell you, I'm not even going to bring this up because when I got out of the military, the
Yeah.
signature that's on my retirement paperwork is not who I really wanted to sign it. But anyway,
Oh my God. It's okay.
I know. So you were diagnosed with MS while in college, which is undoubtedly a significant life-changing moment. Could you share with me how receiving this diagnosis affected your mental? It's always about the mental, right? An emotional state at the time, and how it may have influenced the choices you've made in your career and your personal life since then.
Yeah, of course. There's a quote by Charles Swindoll that says that life is 10% what happens to us and 90% how we react to it. So I really, until like today, it feels like yesterday when the doctor actually told me that I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, and it was kind of like, so it's not really well known in UAE. I kind of had to go to a lot of hospitals because I had different symptoms, and there was no actual doctor that can connect everything and realize that it's multiple sclerosis. And when I heard the news, I remember my parents were with me, mom and dad, and I was kind of confused and shocked, and I wanted to like understand more. So I'm like, yeah, and like, is it dangerous? Is it not dangerous? Does it have medication? He's like, yeah, there is no medicine to cure it. So I told my parents, can you leave the room? I want to cry alone. So I actually I wouldn't say I was super brave, but sometimes you need moments to yourself where you need to take the news alone, just to kind of, so that you would really understand it.
Right.
Let's say 20 minutes later or 30 minutes later, they actually walked again with the doctor because I wanted everyone out. And in that 30 minutes, I would say that that news ignited a powerful transformational power within me. I understood because the doctor was like, yeah, maybe like I was like around 20 years old, and he said, like, yeah, this multiple sclerosis might give you a sudden death. And I think he shouldn't have said it to me like directly in my face, just like getting like give it to me gradual, that I'm gonna stay in the hospital for another month. So it's like not the first thing that I want to hear. And it was late and I was tired and I had double vision, so it was not the best moments I would remember. And the thing that stayed with me was like sudden death, but I couldn't really understand what he means. It's like, does this mean that I'm going to have a sudden death within a week or a month? And, now we have like our handies in our hands, so we can like our phones, we can like Google things very fast. That was not back then in my time. So,
Right.
so I'm like, okay, maybe I don't have much time, but you know what? I'm just going to make the most out of whatever X time that I have. And my parents walked in and they found me smiling. And I'm like, you know what? It's okay. I'm going to read about it. Please, mom, get me my laptop whenever you can. I knew that I had to stay admitted there in the hospital, but in the face of bad news, our attitude is really a choice. Life is full of unforeseen challenges, whether it's a disease or it's a whatever, it's an accident or a natural disaster. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like
absolutely.
life will keep testing our resilience. So I understood, like, okay, fine, I cannot actually I cannot control this circumstance, but I can control my reaction to it. And back then also I stayed a lot in the hospital, and I missed my midterms and I missed so many exams. So when I was discharged, my mom told me, "So do you want to stop the semester?" And I told her, "No. Can you come with me? We'll talk to my teachers, the professors. I want
Mm-hmm.
to repeat my exams, and I want to continue. I want to continue. Like, I don't want to lose my semester. So what? Okay, I'm sick, but now I'm fine." And I was not acting strong. I just didn't want to put myself in a category where I'm going to request everyone else to feel sorry for me or to pity me. I didn't want to be in that category. I
Right.
wanted to live my life to the fullest. I remember I have my oldest sister was actually crying more than me. I cried for like 20 minutes. She kept crying for like maybe 6 months or 7 months every time she
Oh,
sees me.
wow.
And I
Wow.
go like, I'm fine, I'm still fine. I'm okay. So I think it's like, and I appreciated that I had a supportive family and supportive friends. Like a lot of my friends came to the hospital, and I would never nag. I just say like, can you bring me juice and chocolate? I decided and I chose, and I think everyone has the power to take to choose which lens you use to go on with your life. And I really invite and advise everyone, if you want to see life as a black, gray, sad place, it's going to be all of these negative things. But if you try to make it, or try to understand, comprehend whatever is going on, but also choose to be happy. It's not someone that pushes you to be happy. You have to do this for yourself. And in the end, I just want to add that I don't know if you know the movie. It's called Yes Man by Jim Carrey, where he keeps saying yes to everything. He goes to this
Yeah, I
to this
remember.
course. So I kind of, my life turned into kind of a yes man, where I tried to I unleashed the power of yes, and my life, I did like scuba diving. I did things that before I never thought about it. It's like I took like before that incident, I took my life for granted, and I was like a typical student. I want to go to university, but I felt that sometimes negative stuff or like sad circumstances, they can later bring a lot of positive impact depending how you decide to deal with it. So yeah.
Unleash the power of yes.
Hmm.
That's a beautiful lesson, and I appreciate you reliving, some of those experiences. But I kind of wanted to, get an understanding of who you were, right, and how you, in relationship to who you are now,
Mm, mm,
right. And you're very passionate about women's empowerment.
mm.
And if you could share a specific project or an initiative that you're particularly proud of, which has made a significant impact on advancing opportunities for women, and you were really focusing on in the digital space, in the digital landscape.
Yeah, at the moment, I would say that back when I was in UAE, maybe it's not the digital like landscape, but I used to lead the Pink Polo Pink Tour for the breast cancer awareness every October, which is the Pink Month. It's known globally. And I used to add with that, of course, with the approval of the management. I had great management, and I was able to work on a lot of interesting projects to support women. So I like arts, and I paint myself, and I used to create competitions for women with
Mm-hmm.
with Pink Polo, and I used to manage to get them like a lot of sponsors for that, just to give them an opportunity. This is a lot of projects, so we got to discover a lot of artists, and I used to also provide them with spaces to display their art, to give them a chance. Sometimes it's really hard, especially if you're not a professional artist, to get a space. It's kind of expensive, or you need the connections. But if you're just a new artist, where do you start from? So
Right.
I tried to, and thankfully it kind of, like, year after year, it started to grow, and we managed to support a lot of artists, and eventually we also got a lot of artists from Saudi Arabia.
Oh,
So
nice.
yeah, like after around like 4 years, then we started to have girls from Saudi Arabia, and I saw talents oh my God, you would not believe that it's, and they don't even call themselves professional. And I go like, girl, this is Mona Lisa. But like, how do you just don't underestimate your talent? It's beautiful. So I got to do that. And at the moment, because I had to relocate, I don't have much of like friends or people or circle here in Germany.
Yeah.
But back in UAE, I have also, due to my job, and I was doing marketing and public relations. So a lot of people know me, maybe even if I don't know them. So sometimes they contact me. And what I've been doing for the past year, any girl that's having a startup business, if they need any marketing advice, like artwork, design, logo creation, I've been doing that and supporting them for free. So it's like just to give them a push. And even girls who are trying to do things in the social media due to my background. So I help them. We do like Zoom meetings, and it's really interesting. So I think it's like many women look at other women as a competition. It's like they kind of fight each other, where I think if you look at it differently, where you have to be a girl's girl, it's really empowering, because you get to learn even from people that you are helping. So it's like it's two ways. You help, but you also actually get help, or not get help, you get new information or a new angle or a new perspective from people that you're actually supporting.
Wow. All right, so I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it back really quick, because I wanna touch on the women empowerment. In today's rapidly evolving digital era, what do you believe are some key strategies or initiatives that can help bridge the gender gap and create more inclusive opportunities for women, especially in the virtual spaces? And I know that's an area where you're looking at making an impact for yourself, and I'm assuming for other young ladies as well.
That's actually, it's I'm glad you brought this up, and I appreciate this question. I think that maybe they can start to let's say that there is an opening or a position that's opened. Maybe they can start to consider taking CVs, and this is in my opinion, just my opinion, CVs without showing the gender and without photo. And this should be a start, because sometimes some companies, they prefer to have male more than having a female, especially when there's an age, like a certain age, like they ask, are you married? Are you thinking of having kids? And these are questions that means we don't want you, because one day you're
disqualifiers. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I would say this is trick questions, and it's kind of, I feel like it's not fair, because like, how do you know if the guy that's not gonna be pregnant or have babies, if he's gonna do the same impact that the other woman that you disqualified would have brought to the company? And I believe that I don't know if you know, like so many firms, they do the CSR initiatives. So it's like the corporate social responsibility. And there is a lot of money that goes to sponsor so many events. And I hope that in future I would see that these companies would actually teach women tech skills and help them with the digital literacy. So they would teach them more. Sometimes I feel that men are better, not all of men and not all of women. This is not in general, but I'm just, for example, if you compare me to my husband, he is better in digital stuff more than me. So I think if companies can help women that really, for example, they need to have certain jobs to support the family, if they can get these as to be covered by these special firms. And I think also, and I hope, and this is one of the things that I'm planning to work on in the future, for the marketing, which is my specialty, and advertisement companies, if they can create programs for women who can do social media, but to actually teach them how to do it and hire them to market, like to be their employees for marketing. Because so many women, like stay-home moms, if you look at the statistics, that's showing that in every three bloggers, one is actually a mom. But they're trying to learn this alone. So if there's companies that actually can train them on that, train them how to be a better influencers. They teach them more about the social media. It's not about just posting a picture and waiting for followers. It's much more bigger than that. If they can create programs and let's say support women who cannot afford to pay for that, but actually they can sponsor them to give them a chance to work. And like, let's say, I will do this program for you and you can work with me for 2 years or 3 years or whatever. You know what I mean? Because I get a lot of questions, because I used to have also a page before for social media and blogging. And a lot of girls go like, yeah, I want to do that and I want to do this. But I hope that companies can actually consider doing this for the future. Yeah.
Right.
If you have any questions, please let me know. I don't know if I'm clear. Sometimes it's very clear in my mind, but like...
Oh, no, you're clear. You're clear. I tell you, hey, and even if you weren't clear, I tell you, this is a learning experience for me. So you got a lot of different perspectives, and that's what it's all about, right? That's how we all grow as a society and as mankind, right? It's just to, appreciate and learn and, collaborate and all these other things, right? And we'd be in a much better place. Yeah. And speaking of collaborating, bringing, and you're going to have to explain what all these are. I'm not a polo guy. I know what it is, but I'm not a polo guy. So bringing the, how do I say it? Sentebale?
Yeah, Sentebale Polo Cup.
Sentebale Polo Cup to the Gantoot Racing and Polo Club alongside His Royal Highness Prince Harry is quite an achievement. What challenges did you face in making this collaboration a reality, and what did it mean to you personally? Like, this sounds like big stuff. Like I said, you got His Royal Highnesses all over the place, and just collaborating on a big scale. So how, if you can answer that for me, I appreciate you. But before you answer, tell me a little bit about the Polo Cup, Gantoot Racing, Polo Club, all of those things as well. Thanks.
Yeah. So to start with, Gantoot Racing and Polo Club actually is in the region. It was the first polo club in the GCC, and the Middle East. It was established by the late President Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan, the founder of the UAE. And it was in the region, as I said, for more than 25 years. I was very honored to have the chance to work there. And as for Sentebale Polo Cup, it was founded in 2006 by His Royal Highness Prince Harry. And this is a polo cup that happens all around the world. So every time they play in a country, they choose one city, and then they don't play in the same country again. So to have them to play in Gantoot was like, let's say, first and last time to be present in the UAE. And they are dedicated for kids and adults who are struggling with AIDS, HIV, and also to create safe environment to address mental health for this category of people, to help them and support them. So the Sentebale Polo Cup, I was working back then for almost three years, and they were considering United Arab Emirates as one of the countries to have their polo game there. And then back then we had a lot of media presence and international media presence. So they were in touch with us, and I believe other places, and I conducted the meeting. I got all the information, and I went directly, boom, to my director. I'm like, there is a big opportunity, and it's not only about its media or the people that were playing, but also the value and what they're doing for the kids in Africa. And that's what really touched me. And to be honest, my manager was like all in. He's like, I love the message. I love what they're doing. It's great. It's amazing. Give me the information. But if it's going to fail, it's on you. So, my job was on the line. And I was like, I'm going to take full responsibility for that. We had a full schedule, and maybe this is one of the challenges, because every polo club have a fixed calendar for like games and competitions. So I had to squeeze the date, and we were, as a team, we were like only a small team with like a few people there. So I kind of had to take care of everything. It helped me to grow professionally and to understand like many things as well from a different team that are doing polo worldwide and marketing worldwide. So, but my, I would say my fuel was the good cause that we were working for. I would really, it's like when you work on something that you really believe on, even if you work 20 hours per day, you get tired, but you get happily tired. So you don't complain. And
Right.
yeah, so, and I told my manager back then, if I can, if I can make this a success, I need to also create a new charity because I was really interested to bring awareness for children with autism. So I told him, then we have to create also an event that's going to be locally done for us to also bring light and awareness for kids with autism. So the Santibali Polo Cup was a total success, and then I got also to make my my event for autism. So it was a win-win situation. I was able also to show my manager that I can do it. Okay, although I was so many times I used to stay late in the office. It was hectic, but it was worth it. So, and of course, to meet Prince Harry in person was also a great honor. It's like usually we see royalty in newspaper or like the YouTube, but like to see them live in front of you, you get like 2 or 3 seconds. You go like, "Is this real?" And then you go like, "Oh yeah."
And then you're back to it.
I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, it's real. So yeah, it's and I remember back then when I was telling my friends that I was working on such project, a lot of like girls in my group, they got really inspired, and they're like, "Nino, we want to work." Yeah, because most of my friends, they call me Nino, not Nesrine. So they're like, "Yeah, we want to work hard and we want to achieve and we want." So it's very nice to also like sometimes when you do, maybe you work harder, but you also get to inspire others. It's also a happy feeling. So yeah.
So speaking of inspiring, can you share and you did through this whole episode, so I appreciate that. But now we're just going to target in. But can you share some valuable lessons or advice for our listeners, especially young professionals who are looking to make a positive impact in their respective fields and their communities?
Yeah, of course. I would say most of people, Lee, and correct me if I'm wrong, they're gonna talk about maybe education. But I want to talk about something else, which is, and this is for young professionals. It's also your attitude. To be an A student, but your attitude is. It's not going to help you to move forward. So attitude is a valuable tool for you. So it's not just your relationship with yourself or with your friends or relatives. It's also important for your colleagues and your workplace. And I got to do a lot of interesting connections and many deals because at a certain time it became clear to me that people are not just drawn to you for whatever products or services that you are presenting, but also your attitude towards them and towards your colleagues. So sometimes you're in a meeting, but like the potential client is looking at you and how you're passionate and what's your attitude towards him and how do you deal with your colleagues and how do you deal with whoever other people around you. So so again, a positive and an engaging attitude can be influential. Like it's the quality, or I would say it's a key ingredient for success. And so many people miss that because I used to go to meetings and like someone comes and they go like, yeah, we have PhD and we have blah, blah, blah and 1 million certificate. But the minute they talk as a human, you cannot connect with them. Then no works. You know what I mean? And after some time, I started to understand this more because there was a lot of companies, like, let's say, I don't want to say like so many companies, let's say Red Bull or St. Regis, the hotel, or Maserati. They used to request to work with me by name. And everyone else in the team, they go like, why? But then I started to understand, my other colleague, and I used to advise them, my other colleague, he's very cold towards them. My other colleague is like, and I start to understand that if you want to work on something beside your professional experience, and I would always say, keep improving yourself and keep taking courses, but also pay attention to your attitude. And of course, attitude and ego are two separate things, but attitude, definitely you can work on it easily.
It's not funny. I'm trying to find the right word, but so I was in the military,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a certain way that you conduct yourselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I got out of the military and I was working for the company that I'm working with now. And I remember I got some feedback from one of the senior people who were there. And he told me, hey, your personality, not my attitude, right? But my personality, I guess, is a little cold in the meetings, right? Because we used to do customer facing meetings.
Yeah.
And for me, I was black and white, right? I really didn't show emotion. I didn't range. Yeah. I wanted to be right there in the middle of no highs, no lows. But the kind of company that I work for is a sales company.
Oh, sales.
And so I'm not a salesperson, right? But I'm in a sales company. And so that attitude, that sense of urgency, that optimism, or that, just making sure that customer knows that I have their best interest at heart was a piece that I was missing, because in the military, you just, you have the meeting and you just give data information. Right. And you make a decision and you move on.
That's true. 100%. Yeah.
Exactly. And so I hear you say it and I was like, I should have talked to you a few years ago, and then maybe I'd have been good. Right. No, but he gave me an important lesson. And it, at first it kind of hurt, right? Because I'm carrying myself professionally and, this and that, but it was just not understanding the environment that I was in.
Yeah, but I really like I find this point very important, because I had a boss for a year that was a background of military, and I remember one day after a staff meeting, I went to him alone and I asked him, like, sir, why do you hate us? Because as a civilian, I didn't understand that he's just being firm and like he was being professional, but with the environment that he knew forever. But for me, it felt like, because I was a girl working between 100, 200 men. So I was the only one that can actually communicate emotions. The other guys couldn't, like they would feel uncomfortable, but they wouldn't really be able to voice that. And he looked at me and he was kind of confused, and he's like, I don't hate you. I'm like, no, not me. I'm talking about me and the other group. Like, what did we do to you? And then he's like nothing. And then it came to me. I'm like having a civilian background makes us, with your military work style, kind of, we're like being confused, because we used to take it personal, and like I used to be very sad, but then I started to understand more and like get advice from my parents. But yeah,
that's a key lesson too, just in understanding people, because what you understand for the most part is yourself. And when people act a certain way and that's not how you act, then you could take it personal. It's just some people are who they are. That's just how they are. And they treat everybody like that. And if you give some people some grace and maybe just let them know, like you did, hey, why do you hate us? Right. So stop judging people is the point, right?
Yeah. And to try to take things from their side, like understand understand why do people do certain things, and exactly not to take it personal. That's 100%.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, it was crazy now thinking about it.
Hey, so what are you working on now, and what can we expect from you in the near future?
Yeah, so at the moment, I'm writing a collection of short stories. They're drawn from my life experiences. And honestly, I was inspired by the book. It's called You Can Win. And so You Can Win kind of holds true until now. But the difference of what I'm doing in my book, it has all the modern elements to it. So like Instagram, Tinder, and like other activities that didn't exist like years ago. So I have, for example, there is a chapter called London Affair, Declutter for Happiness, Sunset Dreams and Poems, Choose to Shine. So, and there is no direct advice in any chapter. So I let the readers kind of like read the short story and then they conclude the lesson alone, so that it wouldn't be like I'm enforcing, because everybody reacts differently and learns differently from the same situation. We can be in the same situation, but everybody will like take different things. Yeah, so this is at the moment what I'm working on. I'm also preparing for a blog, and I want to also do like a group, because it's very popular here in Germany to do Telegram groups where like women support each other. So I also want, I have a team, and
Mm-hmm.
we're actually planning to do something, but to support artists. So we're kind of started to work on a project. It's called Healing Watercolors. So let's see what will happen as well, of course. And I'm also planning to have like a full-time job, just to meet people and to stay sharp and to write emails. I'm so in love with these things as well.
You love emails. Now
Oh
that's
yeah.
hilarious.
I used to write my emails and emails for my team as well. Oh, you have an email? Let me write that for you. Get away.
Oh
Yeah.
man, I could
Oh,
use you.
yeah. With pleasure. Yeah, and I also I don't know if I can. I just want to add something, Lee, for people. I would like to advise them for a couple of things that helped me also along the way in my journey. Beautiful audience. There is a lot of self-help books, and they are not expensive. You can read a page per day, and it's really going to help you change your life. And there is a lot of nice podcasts as well, like the Hindsight the Podcast.
I'm gonna
So
put that everywhere. Look.
yeah, because like most of people think that excuse me, most of people think that they actually have to go and get a life coach, or it's really expensive. So I wanted to say that there is a lot of people that think that to actually improve your attitude or to work on your mental well-being, you have to pay a lot of money. But actually, life coach, if you can afford one or not, there is, as I said, there is a lot of self-help self-help books. Sorry, I cannot talk
Mm-hmm.
anymore.
Uh-huh.
Okay, or like a podcast, and there's a lot of mobile apps as well. If people want to go to like things like Headspace or Calm, there is also YouTube channels like TED Talks. There's one that is really amazing, and I advise everybody to see it. I don't know, Lee, if you know about it. It's called The School of Life. So there is a lot of short videos, but they explain things super professionally with some drawings about it helps to understand other people as well, and like from a psychological point of view. And yeah,
You
back to
said
you.
that's on YouTube?
Yeah, it's called The School of Life. It's amazing. It's super amazing. My friend in Canada actually told me to watch it, and I like it changed my life.
Is it in English? I
Yes,
know it
yes.
says your friend in Germany told you about it now.
yeah, it's in English. There's also
Okay.
The Art of Improvement, but like number one is The School of Life.
Okay.
It's very powerful.
Nice. Hey, so is there anything that I haven't asked you that you'd like to discuss?
I want to maybe like also add to girls who are like trying to have opportunities and to make an income online. There is so many apps now that you can do work as like to have freelance gigs like Fiverr. There is also websites like appen.com, socialbee.com, and there is Amazon affiliate programs. So many girls, they don't know from where to start. There is a lot of information on the internet. There is a lot of applications to do freelance projects. And yeah, because not everyone has the time or the capacity or the ability to go out there. But I always advise women to feel powerful, or you can always do something and connect with people. Just don't be lazy and use your time wisely, because most of people sometimes they say, yeah, I don't know where to go. Just search, look it up, ask people. It's okay. You're not going to find the information you need or the opportunities you need quickly. It might take weeks or months, but keep going, because if you knock a door and there is no answer, it doesn't mean that you just give up and you stop from continuing to search for what you're looking for.
Hey, so how can the listeners stay updated on your work and get involved in your projects? I'm interested in when your book's coming out, and how can they get involved in your projects?
At the moment, I have my Instagram page, so it's ninonina.86, and people can message me there, or they can find me on LinkedIn. It's like Nesrine Bengra, so they can find me there. And any woman that needs help or advice, I'm very happy to help and support. And all the questions are welcome.
It feels really good. When you meet a person, right, either in person or over the phone or over social media, and you just get the feeling that this is a good person, right? That's how I felt when I started interacting with you. And I just wanted to put that out there. Like, you emanate positivity.
Thank you.
Right.
Likewise.
But I appreciate that. And it seems, just listening to you now, getting to know you a little better, understanding your story, it just reinforced that initial feeling. So I really appreciate you from the bottom of my heart for joining us today here on Hindsight the Podcast. Your story is really inspiring, and I'm grateful for your willingness to share it with the listeners. Your insights and experience have really enriched the show, and I'm honored to have you as a guest. And hopefully we can set up something more video or live or something like that in the near future. Okay?
Yes, sure, for sure. It would be my pleasure, and thank you so much. I hope that I was able to inspire people in some way, and always ladies and also men, because I would say always keep learning, growing, and pushing your boundaries. And remember that rain reminds all things to grow. So always stay positive. Thank you so much.
All right. I appreciate you, Nesrine. Until next time.
Until next. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Hindsight the Podcast. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I know I did. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay updated on future episodes packed with inspiring stories. Before you go, leave me a message with your thoughts, feedback, or suggestions for future topics. And if you're loving what you hear, please take a moment to rate this episode. Your feedback helps me to grow and reach more listeners just like you. So remember, life's a journey. Stay tuned. Stay curious, and keep gaining wisdom through the power of hindsight. Until next time. Oh, and don't forget, subscribe, leave a message, and rate this episode.
When you look back in hindsight, everything is 2020.